So this is the first ever UC-wide South Asian Student Conference. And the idea behind this really came from the fact that a lot of South Asian students felt excluded from conversations around activism or didn't have a space in which they could understand their identities and how to use that to fuel their activism. And a lot of UC-wide conferences, for example, we had South Asian caucuses where we realized we need a more sort of long-term permanent space and coalition.
There's a lot that we need to unpack as a community. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to learn from what others say, take part in some important conversations.
So us coming together as like a giant brown community really symbolizes that we're trying to make a change and we're trying to come together and understand how we can work together to fight things within our own community and outside of it as well.
So we just wanted to have a space where we can talk about mental health, really talk about the stigma associated with mental health issues in our community, and find ways to support ourselves and support each other as we do this really important work, because community organizing is very, very emotionally heavy. It takes a lot of emotional labor, so we wanted to provide some tools to sort of keep us going, make sure that we're doing okay.
Well, I feel like a lot of us face racism in a very blatant way, and I feel like that doesn't make it easier, but that's something we can organize around. And I feel like a big takeaway from this conference for me is like, how can I organize my community better?
Our representation in the media or anywhere is like everyone thinks like South Asia only means Indian, so it's nice to come together as people who are of different backgrounds and different stories and trying to share what we have to offer, especially because it's the first time in my life I've been surrounded by basically woke South Asians. So yeah.
I was like, I don't really know much about South Asian culture, and like even though I was kind of scared at first because there are so many different communities, I think it's really important to like understand each other, because it's like we're not even that different from each other, to be honest. Like we don't share the same stories, but we share like similar struggles.
Whenever I talk about issues like anything patriarchal within my society and there are folks from other communities, I feel like I have to be defensive of my culture and I have to protect it, because their perception of my culture is going to define what they think about my people and my community. And for once, I didn't have to be defensive about things that I am critical about within my community. I could be critical and just leave it at that.
So I'm hoping for this to create some sort of statewide coalition for South Asian students and community organizers, so that we can have these conversations over a long period of time. I would also like to use this coalition to then build networks in communities, so that we were able to build pipelines into like leadership positions, entrepreneurship, career paths, and a variety of other spaces.